Well, this actually started about 7 years ago. In 2004 and 2005, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the publication of the 3 volumes of The Lord of the Rings. And we wanted to do something to mark that occasion. And we also thought there were some scenes that Peter Jackson had omitted that should not have been omitted from the films. So we wanted to reproduce those, and some scenes that were maybe severely edited, to do them in their full form.
The spear of Gilgalad and a sword of Elendil.
One of the things that we have a lot of fun with is talking about the various characters and their roles. One of the issues that Tolkien himself struggled with in 60 years of writing, one of those issues was the reincarnation of the elves. We also talked about things like the fact that Aragorn is 83 and Elrond is over 7,000 years old, and so we have a chance to get into some of the meat and look at some of the scholarly things that Tolkien wrote.
He was definitely more of a fantasy writer. He was a contemporary of C.S. Lewis, and I would think that most people would at least throw in C.S. Lewis as one of the great writers, possibly not among the greats, but I'm very happy that as time marches forward, Tolkien is being thought of more and more as a great writer and one of the greats. I did not guess.
We certainly talk about them in our rehearsals because we want to look at what Jackson did, in what ways Tolkien's text is different, how we might picture that differently. What is it that we want to maybe reuse? What do we want to avoid or drastically change? And so in that way it comes up because the visual image is so powerful. Even for those of us who've read the stories many times, we often remember the visual image more clearly than what's actually in the text.
It was long, but I hope they got a greater appreciation of Tolkien. Also some of the humor that's found in his books. I know some people think of it as just an epic, but there's a lot of humor, a lot of hidden things, and a lot of history that he all just had going on in his head. And unfortunately, we don't get to appreciate just how much work he put into a lot of his stories.
In today's performance in particular, we had speakers who had pages of monologue. And so the memorization, the acting out, is not what's important. And reader's theater is always an effective way to get the content across because the emphasis is always there. Not on the staging, not on the costumes, not on the performance of the body, but only on the performance of the voice.
Yes, it made quite a long tale. But the story still does not seem complete to me. I still want to know a good deal more, especially about Gandalf.
Galdor of the Havens, who sat nearby, overheard